Welcome to Smart Money Smarter AI podcast with David Olivia.
Hey, everybody.
Today we're diving deep into AI-generated stock photos.
Oh, yeah.
We've all seen the claims, make $700 a day selling your Mid-Journey images. But is that real?
It's certainly a tempting idea, right? Who
Yeah.
wouldn't want to just, turn their AI art into a profitable side hustle?
Right?
But like with any online money-making venture, there's a lot of hype mixed in with the reality.
Exactly. So before we get into the really practical stuff of it,
Yeah.
is there even a real demand for these AI-generated stock photos?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Businesses, they need images all the time, right?
Yeah.
For websites, for social media, for marketing materials.
Right.
You name it.
So the need is there.
The demand for visual content is huge.
But it's a pretty crowded market, right?
It is.
It seems like everyone and their bot is making images these days.
That's true. The competition is fierce. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. There's also this constant need for new visuals, right? The traditional stock photo sites,
Yeah.
they're just overflowing with these generic images.
Right.
And I think businesses are looking for something a little bit different, something that stands out, and that's where AI can come in.
So it's not just about creating images, it's about creating images that fill a gap.
Precisely. And that's where I think the real opportunity is if you can identify those gaps, those niche need,
Right.
you can really tap into a market that's hungry for that new stuff.
I'm starting to see the potential here.
Yeah.
So let's say someone is listening and they want to dip their toes into this world of AI stock photos.
Right.
Where do they even become? Like, what platforms are people using to sell these images?
Well, the landscape is constantly changing, but there are some platforms that have emerged as early adopters.
Okay.
Adobe Stock, for instance,
Okay. Yeah.
has been really at the forefront. They've been very specifically updating their policies to accommodate this AI-generated content.
So are they treating it exactly the same as, a traditional photograph?
Not exactly. They've introduced a tag,
Okay.
a generative AI tag that creators have to use when they upload their content.
Makes sense.
So it's all about transparency, really, letting the buyer know the origin of that image.
It seems like the industry is still figuring out how to handle this
Right.
new wave of AI art. What about other platforms?
Yes.
Are there other alternatives to Adobe Stock?
Yeah, there are a few others out there.
Okay.
Some are more open to AI than others.
Okay.
And the rules and regulations are still kind of evolving.
Right.
There's also the option of using platforms like Wirestock, which is a platform that aggregates your images to multiple sites.
Okay.
So you don't have to upload to each one individually.
That sounds convenient.
It's definitely convenient, but there is a trade-off.
Okay, what's the trade-off?
You typically earn a smaller cut of each sale
Right.
compared to if you uploaded directly.
Right.
But for some creators, that trade-off might be worth it for the time saving.
Yeah.
It really well comes down to your own personal strategy.
Okay, let's talk money.
All right.
This is the Smart Money podcast after all.
Right.
How much can someone realistically expect to make selling AI-generated stock photos?
Well, if you're believing those $700 a day promises, prepare to be disappointed.
Okay.
Those figures, they're often misleading. They're focusing on the best case scenario.
Right.
And ignoring a lot of the hard work and strategy that goes into it.
Right.
A more realistic expectation for someone just starting out is probably closer to like $3,000 a month.
Okay.
And that's even with consistent effort and, a solid understanding of the market.
So you're not going to get rich overnight doing this?
No, not at all.
It sounds more like building a side hustle that could potentially grow over time.
Exactly. It's about strategic income, not passive income.
Okay.
It takes work. It takes research. It takes a willingness to adapt to the market.
Okay.
Because it is constantly changing.
So not a get-rich-quick scheme, but there is potential for people who are willing to put in the work.
Absolutely. And one thing that we've noticed is that even within this world of AI stock photos, there are these niches
Okay.
that are proving to be surprisingly profitable.
Interesting.
One creator that we looked at actually found success by just focusing on phone wallpapers.
Really?
Yeah. And by tapping into that specific need, they were able to carve out their own little space in the market.
Phone wallpapers. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It shows you that it's not just about creating pretty pictures. It's about understanding
Yeah.
what people are actually searching for.
You got to think like a buyer.
Right.
What kind of image would make you stop scrolling and be like, I need that?
All right. So we've established that there is demand for these AI-generated stock photos, but it's not a magic money tree.
Right.
There's real work and strategy involved. So we've established there's potential in this whole selling AI-generated stock photos thing.
Yeah.
But it's not, just an easy path to riches.
Not at all.
Let's get practical. How can creators actually make images that sell
Niche.
niche.
That's the one-word answer. Forget generic landscapes or sunsets. You really need to identify a specific demand and cater to it.
Okay.
It's like, setting up a shop.
Yeah.
You wouldn't open a bakery next to 5 other bakeries all selling the same bread, right?
Right. You'd specialize in something.
Exactly. You'd specialize maybe gluten-free sourdough or the most incredible croissants that people line up for.
Right.
So the question is, how do you, as an AI artist, find your croissant?
Right. So how do you find that niche?
Think about what buyers actually need. One of the creators that we looked at, found success with phone wallpapers.
Okay.
But not just any phone wallpapers. They really nailed a specific style that people loved.
Okay.
So instead of competing with millions of other, flower photos,
Right.
they really owned a tiny corner of the market.
They found their people.
They found their people, exactly.
So it's almost like you're solving a problem for someone visually.
Yeah, exactly. You're filling a gap.
But how do you know what people want before you create, 100 different images?
Well, there are tools for that.
Okay.
Think of it like market research, but for visuals.
Okay.
So, some platforms allow you to analyze search trends
Oh,
and
interesting.
see what people are actually searching for. You mentioned electric car charger growing out of a tree earlier.
Right.
That's niche, that's memorable, and it taps into current trends.
So it's like data-driven art in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
We're using AI not just to create, but to understand what to create.
To make informed decisions.
But even with a great idea, a blurry low-resolution image isn't going to cut it.
Absolutely not. High resolution is key.
Okay.
Most stock photo sites, they have really strict standards.
Okay.
Don't just slap a filter on a low-res AI image and call it a day.
Right.
Upscaling tools are your friend here.
Oh, so you can improve the resolution.
Yeah, think of it like taking your artwork to a professional printer.
Okay.
They enhance the detail. They make sure that it looks stunning where it's blown up large.
So we've got the niche, we've got a high-resolution image. Anything else?
You could have the most perfect image, but
Yeah.
if buyers can't find it, it's useless.
Makes sense.
Imagine writing a best-selling novel,
Okay.
but giving it a really boring generic title.
Right. No one would know what it's about.
No one would know to look for it.
So we're not just tagging, cat on a cat photo.
No.
We're thinking like
Get specific.
fluffy tabby kitten playing with yarn cozy home vibes.
Exactly. Use synonyms.
Okay.
Imagine what people would actually type into the search bar.
Right.
And AI can help you here too.
Really?
You can feed, description to a language model.
Okay.
And it'll spit out a bunch of relevant keywords.
So AI helping us market the AI art.
It's very meta.
So we've covered nicks, we've covered
Yeah,
quality,
yeah.
we've covered keywords.
Yeah.
Anything else aspiring stock photo sellers need to know?
Platforms?
Platforms? Okay.
Each platform has its own rules and regulations about AI content.
Right.
Some are completely open, some have limitations, some outright ban it.
Right.
And these policies, they change rapidly.
Okay.
Imagine spending weeks uploading all of your content to a site,
Yeah.
only to find out that they've changed their rules and your work is being eligible.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
It is so, research is vital.
So before you even create,
See which platforms fit your goals and your style.
right?
Read the fine print, understand their requirements.
It's like due diligence.
Yeah, it's not just about artistic skill, it's about running your AI art like a business.
So you got to be savvy. You can't just be creative.
Exactly. This field is evolving so rapidly.
Yeah.
Be willing to experiment, learn from what works, and adapt.
Okay.
That's the exciting and sometimes challenging part of working with AI.
Right. It pushes us to keep growing.
It does. It pushes us to constantly evolve.
And on that note of evolution, let's move to the big picture.
Okay.
What does the future hold for this whole world,
Well, predicting the future is always tricky.
right? Especially with AI.
Especially with AI, it changes so fast.
Yeah.
But I think one thing is certain AI is just becoming increasingly embedded in our lives,
Right.
including, how we create and consume art.
So even with some pushback from more traditional artists,
Yeah.
it seems like these AI generated visuals are here to stay.
It seems so.
Yeah.
And as the technology keeps advancing,
Right.
I think we can only expect even more, sophisticated, realistic, and diverse images being created.
Yeah.
Imagine AI generating these photorealistic images that are basically indistinguishable from a camera.
Right.
Or even entirely new forms of visual expression that we can't even imagine yet.
That's both exciting and a little bit scary.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
But how does that translate to the business of selling AI-generated content?
Right.
Will the stock photo market become even more saturated?
It's definitely possible, but I think we're also seeing a shift happening, moving beyond just individual image sales
Okay.
towards a more holistic approach.
Okay.
You mentioned faceless brands earlier.
Yeah.
That's a prime example.
Okay.
Creators are using AI to build entire brand identities.
Oh, wow.
Crafting visual content for websites, social media, even marketing materials,
Okay.
all without ever showing their face.
So instead of competing for that single image sale,
Yeah,
they're building an asset, a brand,
exactly.
that can generate income through multiple channels?
It's like using AI to build this whole visual empire,
Right.
tapping into influencer marketing sponsorships,
Right.
even selling their own products or services.
So it's about leveraging AI, not just for art, but for entrepreneurship.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's really cool. So for people listening who are kind of intrigued by this world,
Yeah.
maybe have a few creative sparks themselves and are comfortable using AI tools.
Right.
What's your advice?
Well, first of all, don't get caught up in the hype.
Yeah.
This is not a quick path to riches.
Okay.
It takes work, it takes strategy,
Right.
it takes a willingness to learn and adapt.
Yeah.
And yes, there will be rejection.
Right.
Not every image is going to be a bestseller.
Right.
But each one is a learning opportunity.
Okay.
It's a chance to kind of refine your skills and understand the market better.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
What else should people keep in mind?
Quality over quantity.
Okay.
It's better to have a small portfolio of stunning niche-specific images
Right.
that really stand out than a massive library of just generic content.
Makes sense.
And remember those keywords.
Yes.
Those are your lifeline to being discovered by buyers.
Okay.
Use AI tools to your advantage.
Yeah.
Explore those search trends. Think like a buyer.
Yeah.
Really get into their heads.
Don't forget those platform policies either.
Oh, absolutely.
Do your
Yeah.
research.
Do your research.
Understand the rules before you play.
Exactly. And most importantly, have fun.
Yeah.
This is a chance to really merge your creative passions with the power of AI.
That's cool.
Experiment, explore, and just see where this journey takes you.
Okay.
Who knows, you might become the next AI stock photo superstar.
Yeah.
Or maybe you'll build this revolutionary faceless brand that takes the internet by storm.
That's a good goal.
The possibilities are limitless.
Well said. Well, on that inspiring note, we wrap up our deep dive into the world of selling AI-generated stock photos.
That was fun.
It's a fascinating space,
It is.
full of potential and challenges.
Yeah, for sure.
And we can't wait to see how it unfolds in the years to come.
Me neither.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of smart money and smarter AI.